Hey what's up guys, it's Rich and welcome to another video. Today going to watch me play some Black Ops 2 League Play, which is by far my favourite installment in any Call of Duty. In fact, Black Ops 2 League Play is probably more fun than Call of Duty 4 for me, just because I love this game, and when you throw in League Play, you know, in a competitive setting or as close to a competitive setting as you're going to get in like an online matchmaking scenario, it's a load of fun. And I was playing with a friend of mine called Joe, or Zizo. I'm not actually sure how you pronounce his gamer tag, which is kind of odd. It's either Zizo or Zezo. I just call him Joe because that's his real name. Why would I call him by his gamer tag? But anyway, I managed to get 70 kills in this gameplay. I had a teammate in this game called Bugs Bunny. He was a Prestige Master, and when I saw he was a Prestige Master, I was thinking to myself, you know, at least he's somewhat experienced at the game. Even if you're bad, if you get to the Prestige Master, it means that you've just played for like 20 days if you're a bad player. So I thought this guy's going to know somewhat what he's doing. He was clueless. You can see him, we walked straight past him there. He had no interest in going to the hard point. He actually didn't even get a kill this game. He went 0-9 and then he left. And as soon as he left, the team just clicked and we went off on the main stage. We made an awesome comeback. And towards the end of the game, it gets really close. So I'm not going to spoil who wins. But it's a really, really good game to watch in my opinion. So hopefully you enjoy that. But today I'm going to be talking about something a little bit different, because I went to London this weekend. I went on Friday at about 1 PM and I came back about 2 hours ago, I believe, when I'm recording this, which is the Sunday. And I had a pretty interesting time. I went along to the Call of Duty European Championship qualifiers, and if you don't know what they are, they're basically where the top 8 UK teams, or the ones that qualified, I'm not going to say they're the best top 8 in the UK because a load of people couldn't play, they were underage and stuff, but the ones that qualified through the online qualifiers, they go there and they play against each other, and the winners of those matches go along and get a free trip to LA and get to compete for the $1 million prize pool in LA, which is something really cool, I guess. So they were going there. I went along to watch and support TYT, because obviously I'm really good friends with all 4 of the players on there, and I met up with a load of other guys that came along as well, which is pretty cool. So on TYT, there's Mike, who is Fearcreds, there's Shay, who is Quicker Than You, there is Benny, or Benny Central, and there's Joe, or Insomnia. So we went to go and watch those play. They didn't actually play until, I actually can't remember, it was like 6 PM or 7 PM, and they actually went down to the event at 8. I stayed in bed because my bed, I'll go into that a little bit later. Let's just start from the start. So the original plan was to go down on the Saturday. I was going to meet up with Ali, and then me and Ali were going to go from London Waterloo, and then we were going to get the train to Twickenham, which is where the championships were, and then we are going to go watch TYT play, maybe stay the night, and then we'd come home. And that was the plan. That completely changed. On the Friday, Joe was at the Microsoft offices in London because he doesn't have an Xbox One, and they were doing some film with Xbox, so they offered up some free practice sessions for Joe and the rest of TYT, but Shay couldn't make it because obviously he lives in Scotland, so I got to go along and take his place, and we played there for a while. It was pretty fun. It took ages to set up the Xboxes and everything, and after a while we just decided to go to Twickenham because the guys had to go and register their place at the European Championship. So we jumped in a cab. I didn't want to go to begin with because I didn't want to spend the night. I came straight from university, so I had all my books in my bag. I didn't have any clothes. I wasn't prepared in the slightest. I was like the opposite of Ray Mears or Man vs Wild. I was completely unprepared. I had no clothes, no toiletries, nothing. But I went along. They convinced me. They were like, Rich, it's going to be sick. We're all going to have free rooms. There's going to be free food that you can have. None of that stuff was true. They completely lied to me. There was no free food, for me at least. And but it was still pretty fun. So we went along, we got in this cab, there was like 6 of us. The taxi driver was a complete nutcase. He went around the same place like 3 times. He was an hour late to begin with. And the guys nearly missed their chance to like sign up because the guy was just completely clueless. So we get to the qualifiers. The guys sign up. I stay the night. My bed is literally two chairs like pushed together. And the food that we had was like a Domino's pizza each. Mine was completely undercooked. I had 1 slice of my Domino pizza and I was starving, which shows, or you know, it must say something, you know, when I'm that hungry and I don't want to eat this Domino's pizza that I've paid like £15 for, because it was just undercooked. Everyone else's was like really nice. I remember Benny's was like almost burning, and mine was completely undercooked. I had bacon on it and chicken, and I had 1 slice of it. So the next day we get up. I didn't really have much of a good night's sleep because who sleeps well on 2 chairs pushed together? No one sleeps well on 2 chairs pushed together. It's not a good sleeping position. But when Mike and Joe went to the to sign up for the qualifiers at 8 AM. I just jumped in Mike's bed when he left, and I slept for another 3 hours, so that was okay. So we get down to the qualifiers a little bit later on. Ali comes and meets us, and we watch the games. Unfortunately, TYT, if you don't know, they lost 3-0, but to be fair to them, they were playing a really experienced team. I believe 2 of them never actually played on LAN on the other team, but they were really good because one of them, I believe, had like 17,000 pro points. And if you compare that to some of like the top US players, I think if they went to a US MLG event, they would be in the championship bracket. I think that's what Mike told us, just because that's how many pro points this guy had, because he would play game battles all the time. And there were really good matches. The first one, it was a domination. TYT got off to a really bad start, and Orbit, who were in City beforehand, they got off to an incredible start. So they lost the first map by a decent amount, which was a domination. They lost the Search and Destroy 6-1. And it came down to the Blitz, and if they lost the Blitz, they were out. And to Blitz Warhawk, I know this from just knowing the guys and watching their stream, I know that it's their worst map. They often lose this, and before they actually played the games, they actually told everyone that if it comes down to Blitz Warhawk, they're probably not going to win because it's their worst map, and they often lose that game type. So I wasn't really expecting much. I believe Orbit got like 3 captures in the first like minute and a half, and it wasn't looking good. TYT made an awesome comeback, and I believe they were actually winning before the first half was over. So going into the second half, there was a really good chance of them bringing it back on their worst map, and I'm sure they're going to upload this to their channel because it was a really exciting game. But they ended up losing by two Blitz captures, and it was like 12-12 with like 20 seconds left. And I believe Orbit got like the most incredible spawn you will ever see in a Blitz game. If you know the callouts on Warhawk, basically they were spawning in American, and their Blitz was like the 18-wheeler at the back. So they only had to walk like 10 meters to get to the enemy Blitz points, like TYT's Blitz points, and that's how they won that match. So they got 3-0'd. It was really unlucky, but considering that TYT have only been like a competitive team for a few months, I'm actually pretty impressed. I think everyone's pretty impressed with how far they've come, getting like the top 8 in the UK to go to those qualifiers was pretty cool. But like after the match, Mike was livid. Shay was livid as well. I thought Mike was going to fight someone. He was just so mad. He didn't want to get like 3-0'd, I guess, and he really wanted that trip to LA. But what can you do? They were an inexperienced team compared to the guys, and it was a really good game towards the end. So this meant that I was just going to go, because at this point I had no food, because the free food that was promised to me didn't exist. Not at all. In fact, the free food was like this burger, and everyone that got the burger just like didn't finish it. If you walk through the lobby, there was a table where everyone was eating, and like there was just burgers and chips left everywhere, because apparently it was awful. It didn't taste like anything. So I didn't have any food, and I thought I had food poisoning from the Domino's pizza that wasn't cooked, because I felt awful. My stomach was making noises every 10 seconds, and that's not an exaggeration. I wanted to throw up, and I could barely stand like towards the end when TYT were playing. So we left. Me and Ali went and caught a train from Twickenham to Waterloo. He got off at Clapham Junction. I carried on through Waterloo, got off at Waterloo, and I walked all the way to Euston, which, if you live in London, you know is a fair bit of a walk. It's like, I believe it's like a 2.5 mile walk. So I walked it to Euston, and usually there's a load of trains from Euston to New Street, and I got there at 10 PM, so I was expecting there to be like at least another 4 trains before the last one, so I thought I had loads of time. Apparently, like, there was disruptions or something. There were no trains to New Street. I had no phone signal, so I couldn't really like text someone to come pick me up or anything. So eventually I had to like log on to this BT Wi-Fi, which was the weakest signal of all time. It took me like 20 minutes to even get a signal on it. I managed to DM and tweet Benny and Mike, and they said I could come back to the hotel. So I walked it all the way back 2.5 miles from from Euston back to Waterloo. I had to get another train to Twickenham, and then I had to get a cab from Twickenham to where the hotel was. So I had been travelling for 5 hours. I'd walked an incredible I don't know, like probably like 6.5, 7 miles with all the like between stations and stuff, and I ended up where I started. So it was completely awful, and I felt pretty bad as well. So in the end, I just crashed at their hotel, and I left in the morning, and it took me 4 hours to get home. But all in all, it was a pretty good weekend. I enjoyed it. I met a few new people that I haven't met before. I met Shay for the first time, and I met Liam and his girlfriend for the first time as well, and they're all really cool guys, and it was a lot of fun actually. I enjoyed the weekend, and now with barely any sleep because I slept on that stupid chair again. I'm going to go and have to finish off my assignment that's in for tomorrow. And if you're going to take anything away from this story, I would just say that it's not worth going outside. Just don't bother. Just stay at home. Nothing good ever happens in the outside world. Just play COD or something. Do something productive. Just don't go outside, okay guys? It's not worth it. So that's the video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to leave me a like rating, and I will speak to you all another time. Bye.